Do you know Trixie's dad already appeared in My Little Pony without you even noticing? Or even Pinkie Pie's official birthday that was actually set in the show. And that's just the tip of this iceberg when it comes to these super important facts that even longtime fans completely missed. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and did you guys know Trixie's dad already appeared in the show? Yep, and no, this isn't some fan theory. It happened in the episode Granny's Gone Wild, when Dash takes the old mares out for a wild day of fun. And at one point, when they get invited to a magic show performed by this stallion named Jackpot, and right away fans notice how much he looked like Trixie, so they immediately ran to the producer Jim Miller asking if that pony was actually Trixie's dad. But his response basically implied that Jackpot could be her father, but he also might not even know he has a daughter. I mean, what? Wild life, huh? Either way, let's be honest, he's so fine, right? And now it makes sense where Trixie got all that dramatic performer energy from. Plus, I really think he was kind of a tribute to Lauren Faust, since if I remember right, she originally wanted Trixie to be a male pony. Lyra and Bonbon getting married was also something that actually happened in the show, but super quietly, you know? In the episode The Last Problem, when Twilight Sparkle is flipping through a newspaper, you can spot a photo of the two of them already married. It's literally the kind of detail you miss in half a second if you blink. And just as a fun fact, the proposal had already happened earlier in the episode The Big Mac Question. Right in the middle of all that chaos with those Discord apples, Lyra and Bonbon are shown exchanging engagement rings super quickly. So basically, the writers slowly build up their relationship over time until they finally confirmed that the two of them ended up together. And it's wild to think all of this was happening quietly in the background while the fandom was completely freaking out over other stuff. And somehow there are still people insisting those two were just friends. But unlike those other situations where things happened in the show and only got confirmed outside of it, Twilight Sparkle's first crush never even made into production. And this was way before Flash Century, so here's the story. Lauren Faust once planned a special Valentine's Day episode where Twilight would fall for one of Rainbow Dash's friends named Stormcloud, who was basically supposed to be this total gym bro type of pony, you know? And Twilight would do everything she could to impress this new stallion, but she'd fail miserably every single time. Then, in the end, Twilight would discover that Stormcloud was also a bookworm just like her, with the whole message being about staying true to yourself instead of pretending to be someone you're not. And also that appearances can be deceiving. But the episode ended up getting scrapped, and years later, Lauren posted on Twitter saying that Twilight Sparkle's true love would actually be an Earth pony named Stud Muffin, which left the fans hella confused, wondering if this Stud Muffin was just a reworked version of Stormcloud. But here's the thing, Lauren always had a really sarcastic and savage sense of humor online, answering fan questions ironically all the time. That's why a lot of people think she was just joking around, but honestly, I get the feeling she's mixing real facts in with a few made-up details. But what do you guys think? Would this actually have been a good match for Twilight Sparkle? Let me know down here in the comments. But I bet nobody knew this one. Pinkie Pie's birthday. It all started in the episode A Day Indeed, where Pinkie mentions that her birthday would be 75 days away. And when that episode originally aired back in 2012, it was on February 18th. Of course, the fans did basic math and ended up exactly on May 3rd. And before you say you can't be official just because bronies did the calculation and came up with dates, the Twitter and Facebook pages for the hub known as Discovery Family nowadays actually confirmed May 3rd as her birthday, which means Pinkie Pie is still the only main six whose exact birthday we officially know. Crazy, huh? And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Pinkie is technically a Taurus, which honestly explain where all the appetite come from. And go ahead and drop a like in the video if you didn't know this fact or if you're also a Taurus. If you're already a subscriber here on Toontime or are completely obsessed with My Little Pony, then you probably know this one. Scootaloo's and Lofty and Holiday are a lesbian couple. These two first appeared in season 9 episode The Last Crusade as Scootaloo's aunts and caretakers. And here's a fun fact, they had already appeared before in one of the franchise comics, and back then a lot of fans kept wondering if they were sisters or just relatives living together, but this was until the writer and producer Michael Vogel finally broke the silence on Twitter and officially confirmed them then they were a couple, even calling them a cute couple. Michael also said he'd been wanting to introduce an LGBTQ couple naturally into the series for a while, and with Hasbro's approval it ended up happening pretty smoothly. And honestly, that was a really important moment both for the community and for the fans of the show, because My Little Pony has always been about friendship, acceptance, and learning how to live alongside people who are different from you. But while Scootaloo's lesbian ends were something official confirmed by the writers and approved by Hasbro, Sunset Shimmer bisexuality came from Katrina Hadley on the Twitter. At the time, she worked as one of the directors behind Equestria Girls content, and one day she's randomly tweeting, "For your information, Sunset is bi, so they're haters." And in another tweet, she basically hinted that Sideway and Sunset Shimmer would probably ended up making out in college someday. The thing is, Katrina kinda knew that idea out of the air without any official confirmation from Hasbro, which makes me think it was more of a plan to happen on screen. But honestly, I totally would have loved to see that happen. I'm just sitting here wondering why Sideway and Timber Sprouts would have been worked out, or if it was just a phase of them. I don't know. Hasta la vista.